Welcome to Spectrasomatics, Combo Art-Life Methodologies for Contemporary Practice. This workshop is by Anna Laura Hafner. Spectrasomatics is an exercise to expand personal creative practice by hybridizing sensory experiences using color, sound, and movement. In this workshop, we will study connections between sound, color, and the body related to wellness practices, and how that could be manipulated into artwork. Our intention is to strengthen the ability to free associate and combine concepts by collaging elements, both material and metaphorical, as an exercise to inspire contemporary methods of video and photo performance. In this case, we will be using a specific set of parameters related to wellness to inspire the creative process. So what is spectrasomatics? Spectrasomatics connects elements of the chakra system, color therapy, sound therapy, and somatic movement to create new combinations of holistic, artistic rituals, experiences, or exercises. This workshop will study connections between body, sound, and color, and how we can abstract these connections to create hybrid performance art that can work as a holistic art life practice or as a finished work. The three different therapies or wellness techniques which we will use as our ingredients or materials in spectrasomatics is color therapy, sound therapy, and somatic movement therapy, which includes dance, yoga, and any body-based movement that focuses on the internal experience. Color therapy. Examples include immersion in colored light, wearing colored glasses, being in a single color room, bathing in colored water, or wearing all one color. Immersive natural experiences of color count as well. Sound therapy. Examples include sound baths such as gong baths or singing bowls, using tuning forks, rhythmic drumming, listening to binaural beats, receiving vibroacoustic therapy, or making your own music. Somatic movement therapy. Somatic movement focuses on the internal feeling and emotion that occurs in the body and encourages intuitive, energetic flow and release. Some examples include yoga, tai chi, qigong, mindful walking, the Feldenkrais method, modern and contemporary dance that focuses on emotional expression, such as works by Isadora Duncan or the dance style of Butoh. These different therapies we use to mix together in the framework of spectrasomatics. What kind of artwork could we combine and make from these types of therapies? The next step of this process is taking those three therapies and putting them through the lens of the chakras. The chakras are perceived energy centers in the body that are not biologically proven to exist in the nervous system as we know it. The concept of the 7 energy centers of the body was introduced to the West in the 1919 book The Serpent Power by Sir John George Woodruff, during the time when Victorian-era spiritualism flourished. The word chakra is first mentioned between 1500 and 500 BC in the Vedas of India. The chakras are a system of 7 energy centers in the body and are distributed as so. The root chakra, red, the legs, the feet, the base of the spine, and the perineum. The sacral chakra, orange, the hips, the sex organs, and the low back. The solar plexus chakra, yellow, the mid-back, diaphragm, waist, liver, stomach, and pancreas. The heart chakra, green, ribs, chest, heart, arms, and upper back. The throat chakra, blue, voice, neck, shoulders, and communication. The third eye chakra, indigo, intuition, concentration, sight, and hearing. The crown chakra, purple, white, the whole body, brain, nervous system, and breath. So in this system, you can see the correlation between certain colors and certain parts of the body. Spectrasomatics uses Isaac Newton's correlation of colors to the diatonic octave in music. The 7 notes of the diatonic scale align with the 7 colors in the visible light spectrum as perceived by Newton in the 1660s. Newton also noted famously that a rainbow resulted when white sunlight passed through a glass prism. Newton hypothesized that color stimuli were conveyed to the brain by vibrations in the optic nerve, claiming that division of the spectrum into 7 colors may perhaps suggest analogies between harmonies of sound and harmonies of colors. In respect to Newton's scale, in the work of Spectrasomatics, we align red with the key of D, orange with the key of E, yellow with the key of F, green with the key of G, blue with the key of A, indigo with the key of B, and purple or white with the key of C. When we take Newton's system, aligning the colors with the diatonic scale of music, and align it with the chakra system, where the colors are aligned with certain parts of the body. So what happens when we intentionally move the part of the body in alignment to its connected color and sound? So what occurs when you combine these elements that we've described of color therapy, sound therapy, different types of somatic movement? You look at these therapies through the lens of the chakras and through Newton's concepts related to color and sound. How can you use this as an exercise to abstract? Let's look at some artwork that uses some of these combinations. A lot of these pieces of art are very visual and focused on color, but many of them also include 1 or 2 other elements related to movement or sound, or related to the chakras in some way or another. The first art piece that we're going to look at is Chromasonic, which is an interactive light and sound installation by artists Johannes and Harriet Ghiardoni, along with sound artists Orfeo McCord and Joel Shearer. This is a massive color and sonic installation in LA where participants are invited to relax and experience the space. It's described as a holistic, immersive art experience. The next example is Chroma Yoga by artist Nina Reiner. Nina created a multisensory yoga studio that combines color, sound, and scent with yoga practices. This blurred the boundaries between holistic practices and experiential or immersive art. Her branding is very strong. This concept is really similar to what I'm exploring in my thesis. A few examples of immersive color and light installations in contemporary art. I'm sure you are familiar with Olafur Eliasson, Room for One Color, and James Turrell. Both of these artists create massive light installations. They do sometimes use sound as well. Liz West is another contemporary artist who uses light and color and immersive color to create all-around installations for the viewer. This last example is Doran Saja. This is a light and sound installation with an ambient soundtrack and, as you can see, frenetic lighting. Our next and last artist is performance artist Linda Mary Montano. Linda has specifically worked with the chakras and color. She's created long-form durational works for 7 years. She's a performance artist and a life artist and an art lifeist. Art life is incorporating art into every aspect of your day-to-day living, to the point where the day-to-day living the lines are blurred between performance and real life. Montano works with durational performance, One of her most famous pieces is 7 Years of Living Art, where she lived in a certain chakra for 1 year at a time over the course of 7 years. So 1 year as red, 1 year as orange, etc., etc. She would sit in a colored room and meditate for 3 hours related to the color of that chakra. She would listen to a tone while she would do that was related to the chakra. She would wear certain colors, and she would do a lot of various exercises related to the chakras and documented this over the course of 7 years. This is important to show abstracting these types of therapeutic wellness in concepts in art and in performance art. So the last and final concept in the parameters of Spectrasomatics is art life is about integrating your art fully into your life in a wellness way, in a day-to-day practice, in the mundanity of your day-to-day. The ensemble of her work is about living more spontaneously and fully, about locating internal balance and serenity, about centering attention, and about finding a voice. Her Living Art Manifesto not only proposes that life can be art, but also provides practical instruction on how to make living art in order to achieve this state of focused intention and presence. Looking at the progression of work in retrospect, Montano comments, "I started meditating publicly. I call that art. I would sit for hours at a time, doing a lot of endurance pieces. They became manifestation of ways to practice my yoga as art. The undercurrent was healing. I was improvising my own healing as art." And looking at what Linda does is a little bit of the jumping off point of what I'm interested in seeing what people do in their exercise. How can you incorporate these concepts that I've shown you of color therapy, sound therapy, movement therapy, and the chakras? How can you filter that together to create something new? Right, so Spectrasomatics connects elements of the chakra system, color therapy, sound therapy, and somatic movement and dance, or movement therapy. This creates new combinations of holistic artistic rituals, experiences, and exercise, which could be used for daily art life practice, finished work, sharing with friends, or as a new way of being. Spectrasomatics combines the chakras, color therapy, sound therapy, and movement, and looks at it through the lens of art life. This could be looked at as a formula. Color therapy plus sound therapy plus somatic movement times the chakras plus Newton's color and sound divided by art life and squared by performance equals some new art that you make. What is it going to be? Show me. If you combine these therapies as if you're an artist mixing paint, you'll find new personal combinations to create your own methods of wellness. This is an expanded upon art life approach. Basically, how does performance art and art meld into your daily life? What can you make? What will you make from this? So now you have heard some examples. I want you to be as expanded as you can, and now engage in the activity. Follow the next activity video on this webpage below this video. It's like a yoga video. While you do the practice, notice which part of the body speaks to you the most. After the practice, notice what may come up internally. This could be images, feelings, memories, anything. Make note of what comes up. Notice the body part that speaks to you the most. What is the most tense, sore, joyous, loose? What did you notice the most? Which part of your body spoke to you the most after doing the practice of this video? So find that body part in the chakra chart earlier in this video, and find out which color and sound go with that body part. And thank you so much for coming down the rabbit hole with me.